What's up, guys? Welcome back to episode 2 of Bri Makes Podcast, a podcast by Brianna Kubiak. Today is a very, very special episode because it is a final for my Theater 204 Singing Your Way Through Musical Theater History class. And so if you haven't listened to my podcast before, which you haven't because I didn't release the first episode, but basically how my podcasts go is that I kind of just talk, and they may have a loose structure to them, but it's kind of loose and fun, and it's not so serious and scripted. So this podcast episode is going to be talking about musicals adapted into live shows for TV and movie musicals in general. So if you do not know what I'm talking about, I am talking about musicals that already exist. There are already musicals everyone knows and loves: The Little Mermaid, Peter Pan, The Wiz, like those musicals that Fox puts on annually for audiences that don't normally get to see musicals. And to be honest, I think that's what I really like about them, is that live musicals really bring musicals to an audience that doesn't normally see them or hear about them or listen to them, and it brings a whole new type of art into the home so that people can enjoy it from their own couch for free or whatever the cost of cable is. And honestly, that sounds really cliche to be like, it brings art into the home, but it's true. Like, for example, my family would have never gotten to see SpongeBob the Musical. But luckily, Nickelodeon brought SpongeBob the Musical on to cable that we watch and purchase monthly, and it's there for us, and we could just sit down with our bowl of popcorn, grab a soda, and actually watch the SpongeBob musical in the comfort of our own home, which I think is fantastic. And my family got to enjoy that, and they got to see what I love about musical theater so much without having to spend the $120 that I spent when I went to New York and saw it. So that's what's so nice about it. A fun little story for you. So when I was in high school, we went to META, or the Michigan Educational Theater Association, the Michigan Thespian Festival, which some people are going to go to this weekend, which is super fun. Basically, they would air the Fox live musical that Thursday. It just happened to fall on that Thursday of Thespian Festival every single year. So something that my troupe did was every time we would get to the hotel room, we would bring in all our snacks. We would pick one person's room to go to, and we would all gather in there and we would watch the musical because we all had a love for theater, and we were like, hey, Fox is doing The Wiz this year, or they're doing Peter Pan this year, so we can all sit down and we can enjoy it together, and we can all critique it together and laugh together and have fun together, and it really brings such a welcoming environment because it's something that people can enjoy no matter what. So not only did Fox use these musicals as a way of bringing families and groups of friends together to share musical theater in the comfort of their own home, they also used it as kind of like excitement for the holidays. Like last year, or maybe the year before, they did A Christmas Story. And so it was perfect timing. It was around Christmas time when it debuted, because it is always around Christmas time. So they picked that musical and they advertised a bunch for it. I remember there being advertisements and like little clips of things that they would do and interviews and things, and it just got everyone really excited for Christmas, and I thought that was really great. And it's a story that all audiences know. So like my grandma knows A Christmas Story, my mom knows A Christmas Story, my 12-year-old sister knows A Christmas Story. So to think that they can take a story that everybody knows and kind of flip it on its head and give it, like, of course they could just play The Christmas Story on Fox. Like, they can just take the movie and play it. But oh my god, I'm sorry about that. If you couldn't tell, I'm recording this on a actually like nice microphone, like a Blue Yeti microphone. And I just burped. Dara, I'm sorry. I'm not cutting this out. This is funny. I just banged the table and it made a loud noise. But as I was saying, Christmas Story. They could just play the movie and then it would be fine because everyone knows it. But they sprinkle in little dashes of celebrities that we already know and love, and it makes people want to watch this new version, and it's live, and it's on a set, and there's a live studio audience, and it's got all this other appeal. So I think that is a really great advertising tool that Fox uses. So overall, something that I think Fox does really well is bring families together and be able to give accessible art to everyone in the comfort of their own homes. And truly, that's what theater is about, isn't it? It's about art that is relatable to everyone. And that's what's so great about theater. And then being able to combine broadcast television and theater into one is, I think, a really cool concept. So I've been talking about Fox really highly so far, right? Yes. I think they have produced flops in the past. And I'm not trying to be mean, but I'm about to, because, for example, one of my favorite musicals of all time is Hairspray. They did Hairspray, a year ago, 2 years ago? And they brought back the original Tracy's mom from Broadway, Harvey Fierstein. God, I sound like a really bad theater kid right now. But anyways, and I didn't love it. I didn't love his performance. I also did not really enjoy Ariana Grande's performance. I thought casting her was a very poor decision. I know that bringing her in was meant to draw in newer crowds, I think, and it was meant to create a different type of buzz because Ariana Grande had been on Broadway before, and like, she's a great singer, but like, her style has definitely changed and she doesn't really fit that type of role anymore. So I just thought that was really poor. That was a poor decision, and I didn't enjoy that either. Of course, it's a matter of opinion, but I think the cast and the musical as a whole suffered because of the choices that they made in casting. Now, Hairspray is a great example because if you think about it in the point of view from musical to movie to live TV performance, I don't enjoy the style that Hairspray is exactly on Broadway. It's not my favorite. But growing up, I grew up with the movie with Zac Efron and Brittany Snow and Michelle Pfeiffer and all of them, right? So that version is what stuck with me through childhood, and that's the version that I loved so much. And that was the complete opposite of a flop, in my opinion. They used celebrities, but they also used people that weren't known. They had a great mix, and they were all people that had great voices, and they were great actors and actresses. Now, my opinion obviously isn't Bible, but I feel like the live version did not at all embody either of those, the movie or the Broadway musical. And I would prefer even the Broadway musical to the live performance. So basically what Fox was trying to do with Hairspray was bring in a new audience, bring back those old audiences from back early 2000s when Broadway Hairspray came out. And attract like double the audience that way, also combining the same reasons I previously talked about, bringing theater into the home, which is great. I just think that casting was kind of poor on their part, which is fine. Now, I'm obviously not going to get into The Sound of Music too much because honestly, I didn't watch that one all the way through because I couldn't. I enjoy Carrie Underwood's music. I think she is an amazing vocalist, but I also think that somebody more musical theater trained should have been playing that role. And that's self-explanatory. We don't really need to get into that. But again, it was for the same reasons that they did Hairspray. It was to bring in those new audiences because it was Carrie Underwood and it was all the buzz and all the rage at the time. Whatever. And obviously, I'm not here to drag any of these performances. I think what Fox is doing is great. And I enjoy it. And I enjoy seeing what they're going to do the next year. So, of course, I do believe that some of the musicals that they produced were really good. And some of them being Peter Pan The Wiz. I thought those ones were fantastic. I really enjoyed watching those, especially because I was watching them in a hotel room with all my best friends. And then I really enjoyed Grease live, and there's mixed reviews on that one, but I actually really enjoyed it. And honestly, it wasn't during the viewing of it where I was like, this musical is great. Like, I think they did a good job on this one. It was actually after the fact when they released the stage manager. Now, this is going to skew my opinion on it a little bit because they recorded the stage manager doing a part of the live filming of it and what the stage manager for a live production does in that way. And when this came out, I was in high school, obviously. I think I was like senior year of high school, and I knew I wanted to do stage management. I already knew I was going to Michigan State to do stage management, and our technical director showed me this video, and he's like, you're going to love this. And so I watched it, and I watched the stage manager do her thing, and I was literally blown away. And I saw the hard work that the production crew puts into these, and that's when I was like, well, damn, like, I want to do this. I want to do this. I want to be a part of these live productions. And I think it like showed me a whole new angle to take on stage management. Like, stage management is not just for theatrical productions, like on stage. There for TV too. TV has stage managers, and that's never something that I thought about. Like, if it's a live performance and there are scene changes and light changes and things happening, they're gonna have a stage manager, or they may call it a show caller. And I had never thought about that. So it honestly really inspired me, and that's like one of the main reasons why I enjoyed Grease so much, is because, like, yes, their performance was good, but it took my career path in an entirely different direction. And I really just went on a tangent there for a second, and went a little off topic. But another thing that Fox did was release some of that backstage footage, which was really cool and smart on their part, so that people like me, or people not like me, people that have no idea what happens behind the scenes, they can get a sense of like the hard work that's put into these, and maybe they can be inspired as much as me, or maybe just be entertained by that. And I thought that was really cool. I think that was like the first time they had really showed like a backstage sneak peek to what was happening. I could be wrong, but yeah, I just thought that was really cool. Text Mom.
What do you want to say?
Do you have a minute to do a quick phone interview with me?
Ready to send it?
Yes. So on the line here, I have my beautiful mother, Kelly Olson. She has been with me through my 20 years of life and knows how much I love musical theater, and I think has developed an appreciation for musical theater herself. And I want to see from this outside perspective, an outside point of view, what these musicals mean and if they even impact them at all. Because I absolutely know that these musicals impact the theater community. And like, they obviously have impacted me and impacted all my friends and those who went to Thespian Festival with me. So, oh, here she is. So basically, I'm just talking about what Fox does successfully in musicals and what they don't do as successfully. Like, I want to hear it from like an outsider's point of view. Like, do these musicals impact people's lives, like the lives of people that aren't in theater? Which of these musicals have you seen?
Third list.
Do you remember any that you saw?
I'm pretty sure I saw all of them.
Okay, so a few that there was Jesus Christ Superstar, Grease, The Wiz, Peter Pan, Hairspray, A Christmas Story, Sound of Music. Of those, do you remember like which ones you saw? Those were like the most recent ones.
Yeah, A Christmas Story, Grease, The Wiz. That's probably it.
Yeah, so you didn't watch as many as you thought. Do you get excited for these?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you like make time to watch them? Like,
Yeah.
would you record them
Yeah.
if you couldn't watch them live?
Yeah. Because I love to pick out all the problems.
Okay, I do also. Okay, yeah, that's fair enough.
I like to critique them really hard. I'm
Which-
really hard on those poor people who did the live shows.
Which is fair. What would you say that Fox does well in these? Like as far as casting, production, when they air it, why they air it. Great answer. Next question.
I don't think, I'm not really sure they do anything well.
Really?
They just do their job. It's not done well.
Okay.
I mean, the announcing people, people that announce that it's coming back, the announcers do their job well, but it's just a TV show that's on at a certain, a live show that's on at a certain time, on a certain day. Nothing well about it.
Okay, then can I ask what do they do poorly? Do you think they can be more successful, and how?
Well, maybe in the beginning and at the end, talk to the cast.
Like a talkback kind of thing?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's fair enough, yeah.
Interview the cast members, even the behind the scenes people, how they did it.
Yeah, that's...
Like an extra. The live extras.
Okay, yeah. That makes sense. So, as I said, the main reason why I'm doing a podcast on this topic is seeing how live musical theaters brought into the home are a good idea because they can impact families, families that can't afford to go see musicals live and that sort of thing. So would you say that Fox does a good job at bringing art to those who couldn't access it anyways?
Absolutely.
Cool. Yeah. Woo! You proved my point. The reason why I'm doing this. Okay, thank you, Mom, for your wisdom and amazing input into this topic. I will take that into consideration. You might be put on the podcast, but we'll see.
Thank you for affording me the opportunity to do this interview.
Okay, so what we learned from that lovely interview is that the audiences at home have a very different outlook. Like, she said things I did not expect her to say, like, at all. Like, I didn't expect her to say, like, she wants to see a talk back from the actors. Like, I never thought that was something that outside audiences would want to see, but I guess it would be if they don't know a lot about theater, which is awesome, which is why we do this, which is why we bring theater into the home. Especially in 2019, accessibility doesn't just mean for physical or mental disabilities. It means for all incomes and socioeconomic statuses. And another thing that I thought about while she was talking was that older generations that maybe way back in time saw Hairspray on Broadway, or way back in time they saw Peter Pan on Broadway. And now they're like, well, I don't get to see that on Broadway anymore. I don't get to see it on the stage. It's not there. Now they can. Now they're able to see those things, which is great. And it brings back a lot of nostalgia, which is also something that we talked about in class with Oklahoma coming back for all the war vets as a lot of nostalgia for them. So I think that it is super important and really smart that Fox and Nickelodeon and all of the movie companies that create movie musicals are doing a really good and important thing for the entertainment business and for our society's entertainment as a whole. Thank you so much for listening to the second episode of Brimake's Podcast. If you enjoy listening to me ramble about things, you can come back and listen to more episodes when I record them, because I will. And if you could, give me some comments and a little bit of feedback about what you would like to hear about and what you would not like to hear about, and things that interest you. Thanks again, and I will see you next time. Bye!